Hello Factorio people, Fenton here. I've made a blueprint book. Welcome to Factorio OVEREXPLAINED. Like, subscribe, comment, etc. I made a blueprint book with the grid section in it, and don't worry, I'll go over blueprints in more detail. We've talked about copy and pasting, but we've not talked about actually saving those plans. I've put the plan for the first blueprint, for the first grid square down, because I wanted to show you that it's important to plan this first section. If we look at this and build a belt from here to here, the distance between the two pylons, plop that down, it is 28, is it not? It is 28. So if we go to 14 here, like this, we deconstruct, 14 of them, that's halfway. My robots are off so that they don't suddenly start building all of this, and just turn it around so you can see where the middle is. This is the middle. Because of the way the rail works and how it's actually 2 by 2 and not, you can't, like as you can see here, you can't get it to actually overlap with this over the middle of these. That is actually what you want in this system, in my system at least, which is also other people's system, so that when you have your 2-lane rail or even your 4-lane rail, it's all properly aligned. So now we can see if we have a 2-handed rail thing here and we tell it to turn around like this, I suppose, just as a plan, like when we have all of our rail sections aligned to the grid, we can see that this distance is the same as this distance, which also means that if we wanted to expand it and have a 4-lane rail system like this, with a bigger gap in the middle and, you know, 2 lanes going, it's left-hand drive, so this way, and 2 lanes going this way, this distance is the same as this distance, and it all just works out very neatly. The best way to do that is to have put your first blueprint down and make sure, or your first grid section down and make sure that your rail is nicely aligned to that, which it is. So this is the first grid section of the base. This is it. So we can turn our robos on now, and they'll get to that. And while they're getting to that, let's talk about the blueprints. Right. So when you copy and paste something, so let's for example do a nice little build here for pipes. Pipes. Oh my god, why is alt mode not on? What button did I press? Pipes into pipe to grounds. If you control copy this, yeah, sure, you've got it. What you could do with this is actually then you can put that on your hotbar, and that is a blueprint. And then it doesn't matter what you do, if you spent 20 hours doing something else, providing you've still got this blueprint as an item, which will be an item in your inventory, you can pick it up again. You could also put that down in a blueprint book, here, like this. Now we can just get rid of this from our hotbar, and it's gone from our inventory. This is just a blueprint book that exists. And I have made a blueprint book called Factorio OVEREXPLAINED, and I've given it an icon with an eye, and I'll also give it a tick, because we know that it's the best. We could also give it a description. Like, comments, and subscribe, please. For example. We can also then right-click that blueprint, and we can give it all kinds of information here. So we could say this is our underground pipe blueprint, and change the icon and make it, you know, underground pipes, so that we know, and give it a description. Makes underground pipes. Excellent. Obviously, that's garbage. We don't want it. We would like a blueprint for maybe something else. Now, we're not forced to go over there physically. Let's make a blueprint for, and I already have this somewhere obviously, but I want to make sure that it's correct. let's make a blueprint for a nice long, because this is the only blueprint we're going to use, right, for this. So we'll copy here, and we'll go as far as, this is kind of an awkward one to use because we need to make sure that it's overlapping properly, but you know what, it doesn't matter, let's just do it. So it's where the power pole is underground, and then a power pole is the end. So that would be one segment, that would be two segments. In fact, it's every set, so we can go as far as this. So I've got this on my in my clipboard now. I can right click here and bung that there. There we go. So I can go into this, and we can see here that all the components here, it's made up of 26 mining drills, transport belts, whatever. If we suddenly go, actually I don't want the lights are superfluous, we can right click that and that will get rid of all of the lights from the blueprint, and then when we save that, they're gone. Obviously you can't get those back. You can get them back before you save it, but it's kind of helpful if you just copy a design and you realise, oh, it's full of wooden power poles, or oh, I want just the belts from this, not any of the inserters, or something like that, you know? Let me just plug my phone in and actually start a timer while I'm here. I don't need to start a timer, it's 7:15. Don't go past 7:15. We can, you know, just call this a mining column, and we can save that. Excellent. So that means that now, if we go somewhere else, we've just magically got this. I could bung it down anywhere, but because obviously there's no robots, there's nothing stopping me from putting the plan for it down. Especially, there is something stopping me, it's the fact that there's no resources there. Providing I can see where it is, you know. That did actually place that, but because it's in the fog of war, you can't see it. The other very important functionality here is the snap to grid. Snap to grid does what it sounds like. It snaps to the grid. Now, the default of that is not the best. It will just snap to the grid as the whole grid exists. What you need to be doing is you need to be doing some tweaking to this. We need to change the grid size, and we need to change between absolute and relative. Absolute is the global grid. It's not often you would want that. I suppose you could do all that faffing around with the rail to the global grid. I don't know if the global grid is aligned properly to the rails. It'd be something to find out. Relative is usually what you want, especially for this city block build. So when you do relative, it snaps to where you first placed it. So you can click and hold the mouse and it will snap to the grid. The problem with this is that the grid is in fact too big. If you imagine what's actually going to overlap when we place more copies of this down, these pylons on the outside need to overlap. These two pylons here, if you imagine these two pylons here, are actually these two pylons here, because they're on the outside of the grid. And then all of these pylons are all of these pylons for the next grid section. You see what I'm saying? So actually, the grid is, and I believe you can hold shift to move the box around, yeah, the grid is actually only this. And then we just need to change the grid size on the underside as well. So I believe 100 is not... Oh, 100, it is 100 by 100, fancy that. So the green tells you what is actually snapping to. You kind of just have to get a feel for it. I don't think I fully understand it, to be honest with you. So if we save that blueprint now, and it's on relative, we can click and hold here. So if we wait for everything to go blue, so that we already know there's a copy of it down, if we click and hold the mouse and then start moving the mouse, it's not going to move the blueprint until it's on the next grid section. There we go. So you see that went down, and that is exactly right. And then I pressed Control and ruined it. I wanted to get my telestration up there. That did work. It was like that. So you see it's overlapping with these because everything's gone blue here, and then the green ones are the new ones. So let's just do that again. Clicking and dragging over. There we go. Hello? That didn't work because? Oh, because a dead tree trunk is in the way. So what I should have done is I should have held shift as well to make sure that it's, when you hold shift and you place a blueprint down, it ignores what can't be done, and if it's stuff like trees and rocks, it will also give those deconstruction plans as well. So this is all good, except we need to, one, hook it up to the power. Actually, we have hooked it up to the power, haven't we, because it's connected to the main power supply from this rail. The main problem we've got is we don't have any robots that aren't global robots, and the robots don't have actually anything to do with the stuff. So let's bung a whole bunch of roboports down. They're saying they're not in a logistics network because this roboport doesn't have power. As soon as these two pylons go down, there we go. So then now we can see that this roboport is charging. Whoops. Once that has enough power, then these recognise that they're in a roboport. So we need bricks. We need lots of bricks. We need lots of lights. We need lots of pylons. We need lots of roboports. Do I have any more roboports on me? Probably not. My robots probably did that. And I can actually put some of these robots in here because my robot capacity at the moment is only 20 because I've only got the 2 personal roboports. So as long as I keep at least 20 robots on me. That was far too many. But anyway, you can just plop them down. You can put them in those slots as well, but you can just plop them down. So let's go and load up those chests and basically look at them go. And basically, we're just going to let them get on with it while I laboriously explain some other things. It also would have been nice to bring a car. You can turn a blueprint into a blueprint string, which lets you share things over the internet. The internet is a system of sharing information digitally. And it is in fact how you are watching this very video. Just walk over the tracks, good stuff. Where is my car? There it is. This arrow on the map is my car. So let's go and load the car up. Load the boot up. Load up the boot of the car, shall we? And I've got loads of stone on me because of all of the... I did not mean to do that. No, don't build this. This was irrelevant. Oh, it's fine. Just leave it. Let them have their fun. I've only got 5 robots on me. All of the rocks that I was destroying while that was going on gone into my inventory. The same with the wood and the coal. I'm going to have to find something to do with this wood. What I generally like to do is put it as part of burnable fuel. So if I don't have any treasure chests left, I can make some wooden chests, sure. This will be less relevant until this coal starts to run out, and when the coal starts to run out we'll have bigger fish to fry. But if I just put a wooden chest on each side and put some of the wood in each, then as there becomes gaps of coal here, these inserters will put them in the gaps. There's a better way to do this, and I will show you that when it becomes more relevant, aka logistics robots. What was I doing? My car! Of course, my car. You'll also see here that my construction robot is going to fix this car for me. Thank you. What's in the boot already? Coal! Excellent. Good stuff. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with that coal is I'm going to... I've run out of wood. Can't even make a single chest. I was going to say I was going to make a coal chest to put fuel in that train, because that is going to definitely need to be done. And again, there's a better way to do this. So let me just stop this train so that I can show you how this works. An inserter will move, obviously, from anything that you tell it to. And if the other side of it can accept that as an item, it will do. And because you can fuel a train with coal, this will just keep the train fueled, at least for a little bit. It's not a long-term solution, of course it's not. I don't do long-term solutions. No, of course I do. But I am all about short-term solutions in the starter base. and then everything in the main bus space will be a long-term solution. So we're going to start moving into proper long-term solutions now. So let's move an absolute ungodly amount of stone bricks over to the main base via the car, and also load up on pylons. Ooh, driving! He's the best. I'm going to thread the needle. Here, he's done it. Also load up on lights, pylons, and roboports. And the robots themselves, let's not forget that we've got a lot of robots ready to go. 100 pylons, not going to be enough. You might have to up your game there on that. So we can go into the blueprint book and actually see that each grid section needs 64 lights, 36 pylons, and 4 roboports. The lights and the pylons are less relevant because there's a lot of overlap here. And the same goes with the stone bricks, 1,700, but you can see that most of the stone bricks are actually duplicated here. There's more stone bricks on the outside than there is on the inside, which is also true of the pylons and the lights if you think about it. So yeah, we're gonna need lots of them though. I'm basically gonna just tell the robots to do a lot of work, and they're gonna complain at me because I am the Jeff Bezos of this world, and they're well within their right to do that. Off camera also, by the way, I just obviously bunged the extra steam turbines here. $205 robots, sure, why not? Which is going to be a whole bunch of... I should automate this, of course I should. Ugh. Yeah, I definitely should be automating that. Okay, I'm out of... No, I'm not out of flying robot frames, I'm in fact out of green circuits. Yes, okay, let's automate that. Let's take just the green circuits by putting a filter on the splitter here, which is going to then make just green circuits go this way. And realise I've put it in the wrong place. Short-term solutions are the best, of course. Power supply. Please make construction robots into this chest, and they stack to 50. So let's make sure there's always 200 flying robot frames and always 200 extra construction robots to load in to the network. This is going to be a huge drain on green circuits, but that's okay. I am okay with that. Let's also take these roboports that we told this little build here to do. 12 is not a huge amount, that's only 3 grid squares, but whatever, let's just start moving stuff over and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And I'm still handcrafting construction robots down here. Hello guys, what have you been doing? How did you get away from me? I'm going to turn my roboport off now, my personal roboport. I don't want them to do anything else. Drive in front of the train. Interestingly, you can throw grenades from outside the car. From inside the car. Of course you can throw them from outside the car. So you can see on our map up here that there's a whole bunch of flashing going on, because it's like, I can't build this, mate. You told me to build it, I can't build it. Well, they can build it, there's just not enough robots to do it. Oh, all of the stone was in the car. I meant to actually do that there. And you can see that there's wood and stone and coal has arrived from deconstruction jobs that have happened. Trees, rocks, etc. in the way. Here, have some lights. Have some pylons. Have a huge amount of stone bricks. Like, loads of them. And also, while you're at it, have some roboports and have some more construction robots until I'm down to 20. Which I'm looking at my hotbar for this. There we go, 20. Oops. Let me turn on worker robots on the map. Hey, look at them go! Yellow squares are just generic robots in the network. Your robots show up as green squares. How is this doing on power? So we can see here now that the roboports are actually the most power intensive thing we have in the network. So be prepared for that. Oh, I didn't add a flipping radar to my blueprint. I wanted each city block to also have a radar. That's annoying. You can't just modify them. You can't just add a radar to this. Okay, I'll remind me to fix that. Where are these guys going? Oh, they're taking bricks out of my logistics trash slots to build with, because they are that smart. They know. Alright. The reason I wanted the radars to be in here, so that obviously you can only build in the fog, you can't build outside the fog of war. So if each grid square also has a radar, then everything will be sorted. But fine, whatever. So I'm going to build 6 to start with. 3, 2 by 3. Which means I want one there. Red tree is in the way. Hold shift to make sure to overwrite that. Move the mouse, click over. It is putting them down. You can build in the fog of war, you just have to, you know, hope for the best. So this will just fix itself. The beauty of the city block build is that the overlap of the logistics network, so you can see before these roboports are in the construction range of these roboports. So although nothing below this line will get built, the roboports will, and then as you can see here, this one got done, which means now everything up to here will be built, which includes these roboports, and then on this side as well. So it will just expand itself as more and more gets done. Of course, I've put everything up there for storage, so the robots have to make longer and longer trips. They have to go there and back, and they'll stop at roboports to charge. This job alone has cost me so much power. But it's okay. It's fine. So you can see this robot here wants to put this roboport down, but it can't because this tree hasn't actually been destroyed yet. So there'll be a robot on its way to do that, probably this one. Hooray, there we go. Well, that robot actually got bored of standing around and actually went to go back. Now it needs to go and recharge before it comes back. They're not the smartest tools in the shed, but they are easily the most useful tool in the shed. So, I want iron is going to be smelted here. Copper is going to be smelted in this grid square, and then we're going to start building the bus here. You may think, a whole grid square just for the bus? Yes, you are correct. It looks like a lot of space, and it is a lot of space, but we need a lot of space. I should be driving my car back, shouldn't I? That would be sensible. I always forget about the car. You can probably tell, but I play with the biters off so often, and it's just, you know, you don't have to worry about them. Time is off so often not a factor the way I play. And that's the beauty of the game to me. If some people love playing with the biters on, they love the defense aspect of it, and it's not really for me, personally. Which is also why I don't really trying to get on board with playing the Rift Breaker, and it's not really happening for me, TBH. Oh my god, that's a lot of trees. Robots, please, clear me a path. Very slowly. Should have just used grenades. Should have just used grenades. Or at least not told it to destroy quite so many trees as this, but Also, this is going to fill up my inventory with woods. Oh dear. It's kind of lucky that there's not that many cliffs here, because otherwise that would have been a problem as well. I could just drive away from them, but it's rude to do that. They will make their way back to you, as I said before. They literally never ever crash. They just, if they run out of energy, they just take forever to get back to you. They slow to a crawl, but they do know that they come back to you. And I deliberately crashed into that tree to show you the auto repair function of the robots. There, right, drive in front of the train again. Good stuff. Realise I've not set research going for the whole time. Personal battery Mark IIs, and I did also research the next modular armour up, but it needs blue circuits, I should say. Purple circuits? What's a purple circuit? Nobody knows. Right, more pylons, more lights. More roboports. I suppose we could plonk some solar power down. Look at them go. It's beautiful. Power's alright. Now, the roboports spike when you place a whole bunch down, because they need to be charged fully as well. It's okay. It will be a problem. But solar power is easily available to us. We've got 500 solar panels and 500 accumulators. I just need to find a good place to put it. I did talk about putting nuclear power in these spaces here, but I might just actually put solar power grid sections here instead. And that'll just be a case of filling a city block with solar panels and accumulators, but I don't really want to do that now because I don't want to have to talk about it right now. Effect transmission. They changed the thumbnail for that. Or in fact, they may have changed the thumbnail for a whole bunch of things, and this is the first time I'm seeing them because it's been that long since I've done a full playthrough from the beginning. Don't know. Oh, we've researched everything that needs the 3 sciences that we have. We'd like to have military science, ideally, to get any further, but I ain't setting that up now. I'll set that up in the main base. Right, what else can we do now then, given we've got a few minutes before the episode runs to its length? I could talk some more about blueprints, I suppose. I did vaguely start talking about blueprint strings, didn't I? This button here, export to string, brings up this, and you can just copy and paste that somewhere. So if you wanted this mining column, I could pop this on paste bin, or even as in the description of the YouTube video. Or the whole book. I could go back a step here and copy the blueprint string for the whole book. And this is only 2 blueprints. This is how I got the blueprint string for the belt balancers. The other thing you can do with the blueprint book is you can apply an upgrade planner, which we vaguely spoke about before. You can just click it to upgrade items and entities, or you can apply an upgrade planner by right-clicking this. You can. So when we talked before about upgrades, and you just said, "Oh, I want to upgrade at least all of the belts to blue belts. I'm not fussed about the undergrounds." I don't know why you would ever do that, but still. The reason you'd want to do that, for example, is in something like this. If you drag the generic upgrade planner over it, it's going to upgrade everything, and that includes the game upgrading blue inserters to green inserters. And it is in fact done that, because when I put my telestration on, it is done that. If I Control Z that, it just works, it just puts it all back. So yeah, you might want to build an upgrade planner that is just from Assembly Machine Mark IIs to Assembly Machine Mark IIIs. Or perhaps just the belts, you know. I just want to do yellow belts to red belts. Obviously that's not hugely relevant in either of these 2 blueprints, but you know, you can see why that would be relevant. And I did cover that briefly before, but I wanted to cover it again because it is a function of the blueprint string here. We've gone through snap to grids. To import a blueprint string, you do this. Here it is. So this little box down here is customizable, and one of them is actually from a mod, the rate calculator. You can turn these on and off. You can also just open this here with the triple dot thing to just bring them all up as an option, and then just press import string here like this. You can also rearrange these. So then that's where you would paste the import for that. There we go. If you right click the blueprint book, you get it up. If you left click the blueprint book, you open it, and then you can hold shift and use your scroll wheel to scroll through the items in the blueprint. You can also, when you've got a blueprint down, and this applies for just copying and pasting as well, you can press F to flip. Not the most obvious thing with this. F is flipping it along a mirror image this way. And you can press G to glip, what we affectionately call glipping, because F is for flip and G is for glip. It doesn't work with that blueprint at all because it is symmetrical along the x-axis. But this one, for example, you can see I am mirroring it across this axis. Some things don't work like that. You can't flip chemical plants, or glip them, in fact. And the same with stations. You can't flip anything with a station in, or even rail signals, just because of how they work with having to be on the, you know, correct side. Which is also a good example of a time where you would go, well, I want this build, and I'm gonna flip it and glip it, but so I could hold shift here while I'm copying and pasting to open this as a blueprint, and then just right click the chemical plants to get rid of them from here, and then flip this, glip this blueprint, and then just put the chemical plants back in. You know, like it's less than ideal that you can't do it, and that is a workaround, but the game is just like, there's many ways that you would want to be able to do this, and I'm not going to assume that by pressing flip you want it to be done this way. So just basically you're on your own, pal. Thanks, Robot Buddies. The only other thing is that game blueprints only apply to this save file, and the reason I did put that here, and this is the first time I've ever done it, is that I just didn't want to just realised no, I haven't misspelled overextended, it just looked weird. Overextendy. I just didn't want to confuse you with all this. There's no reason really you would put it in game blueprints, at least now that the game is smart enough to... it didn't used to work. If you used to have blueprints from save files with mods, it was just broken. Whereas now at least you have all these question marks, and it's like, it has a mod in it, I don't know exactly what it is. I think this is when I have Factorio, and there's a slightly different concrete I use for the city blocks. And this was a 16:16 balancer that used non-standard belts. But yeah, that's why in this Factorissimo mod, and can't remember what this was for. But this has some other relevant blueprints in, at least. That, oh, here's a blueprint that's just 50 by 50 landfill. We'll take that, actually. So I can left-click this, put that in my toolbar, and it's still there, still in this, but then this is a separate copy of it that's in this game now. And then if I go back to game blueprints, I can, whoops, I can bung that in here. And that means now I can safely delete this. Oh no, it's gone! Why did that not work? Why did that not work? That might be a thing to do with the game blueprints thing. I've lost it now. Where did it go? Here's a sneak peek at a whole bunch of other blueprints. This logistics small one I'm definitely going to be using again. I would definitely be plopping this down as soon as I get the requester chests and things like that. Have I researched requester chests yet? I thought it was there. Yeah, no, I haven't. The blueprint should tell you that you don't have it. As you can see, for at least this and this, there's red lines through it because you haven't actually researched these items. So I don't know why it's telling me I can put the blue chests down, because I definitely haven't done that. Where on earth was that? There it is. No, it was called 50 by 50. Did I somehow manage to just completely delete it? I think I broke it. I think I did the one thing you're not supposed to do, which gets rid of a blueprint. I somehow have managed to break it. Here's some grid section, some rails plannings that I made when I did a city block style with trains. Didn't really work, to be honest with you. I broke it, didn't I? It was there. No, it wasn't. Well, here's another one of it at least. It's not the same because it's... So that's there. So you're still in there. Delete blueprint. Yes, gone. Alright, never do delete blueprint then. Even though it's in my blueprints and putting it in my hotbar, I should have just made a copy of it. I don't understand how that works. That's fine. It was only landfill. I just wanted to show you how to move it, but I've at least remembered that. I think delete blueprint. Yeah, what you actually want to be doing is what do I want to be taking here? Let's take my nuclear one, because this actually will work. Because this is the size of a city block. I mean, obviously you could just put it straight in there, but if you put it on your hotbar, you don't want to be deleting blueprint, and this turns out, as I should have remembered, just actually properly deletes the blueprint. If you want to remove it from your inventory, you need to make sure it is... So this is what I'm worried about here. I want to delete this, but I'm worried. See, destroy blueprint. Now it's saying destroy blueprint. So this blueprint in your inventory, you know, it's weird. It is weird. Just be careful when you're doing this delete blueprint button, basically, is all I can say. But you can at least move blueprints around. Just be careful when you're pressing delete. Yeah, this nuclear grid, it snapped to grid for some reason. I definitely don't want that one. For this. I made this, and it's 8 nuclear power plants, and it fits very nicely here in a grid section, except I need water fill. I need the water fill mod for it, because nuclear needs water, and I used a mod to add water to the ground, like the opposite of landfill, water fill. And this only works if these tiles are water. Whether I'll do that this time or I'll keep it purely vanilla, I don't know, but you can see that each side of this needs 8 water pumps, all working like fully. So I probably will just use water fill, just for the sake of simplicity. The only other thing to do would be to find an ocean big enough to build the whole thing on, like this, and then just landfill everything except those water pumps. Which, you know, is laborious. How are the robots getting on? They've finished. They've stopped. Why have they stopped? So now, if we move into the logistics network, we should be able to see exactly what's going on. Turn my own logistics robots off, at least. It did do everything except these roboports. It ran out of roboports, and as such, it can't do anything more. It did everything in the catchment area of the roboports that it has. This one hasn't gone down. Let's put that back down, shall we? Shift click. Oh yes, it did. It's just behind this tree. I thought it was on the inside, not the outside. Did I pick up more roboports? I did. I picked up 10. Right. Let's just quickly bung that in and we'll call that a video. I know not much happened here, but blueprints there's a lot to talk about and it's quite complicated. But you can see, you know, if I was doing other things at the same time, like getting this going while these robots did this, the fact that we've already got 6 grid squares good to go here. We've got all this space, it's fully powered, it's fully covered in robots. They're all finished now, and now that it's all finished, you can see power production has gone right down. Where are the roboports? Which colour are they on this graph? There we go. Spent so long doing nothing that the robot, you know, so the roboports, they do use a lot of power when they're working, but and it's all going to kick off again now because I'm going to put 10 in there and the robots are going to go, ah, right, I've got something to do now. Obviously they don't work super fast. They need to scan all the contents of all the chests in the logistics network, see what they can do. So, you know, it is going to take a few moments. And the only jobs it can do actually are a couple of roboports here. So we'll just watch this while I do my final blurb. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know by leaving a comment, saying you're having a good time, or a like. And if you want to see more Factorio overexplained, Factorio Extended is a mod. I believe I've said that more than once, but I keep saying Factorio Extended or Overextended because there's a mod that I've played called Factorio Extended. If you want to see more Factorio Overexplained, be sure to subscribe. Alright, so these roboports are going down now, and then as they go down, all of the jobs that need bricks and pylons have been sorted, and our alerts creeping up. I've probably run... I haven't run out of bricks. You can also see over here everything in the logistics network just by hovering over any one of the chests. It's in an entire logistics storage system, 6.6 thousand bricks. So even though that first blueprint was 1.7 thousand, each subsequent one is considerably less. Because you obviously don't need any of this part. And then even this one here, you don't need any of that or any of that, so it's like only half as much brick. Off they go! Right, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.